Ну, я знаю, пацанов много положили с 810-й.
Прохода мало. Ну, по статистике, где-то 1200 человек в день.
А где вы, в Севастополе или нет?
A Russian blogger spoke with fighters from Russia's 810th Marine Brigade who fought in Kursk Oblast. They described the brutal cost of capturing Sudzha, with about 1,200 wounded daily and 5% dying. Small arms clashes are scarce as Ukrainian forces actively deploy UAVs, turning the battlefield ruthless.
А где вы, в Севастополе или нет?
Да, сейчас пока да.
810-я.
Прям в точку.
О, морпехи, блядь. Были в Курске? Что там, нормально все или нет? Как ситуация?
Все хуёво. Обстановка, ну сейчас получше, говорит, стало. Сейчас, говорит, получше стало, суд же взяли.
А вы говорите, все хуёво, да?
Ну, не так прям хуёво, но более-менее.
Ну, я знаю, пацанов много положили с 810-й.
Прохода мало. Ну, по статистике, где-то 1200 человек в день.
Ложат пацанов?
Ну, 300 тогда уезжает.
Да ты что, серьезно? 1200 в день?
Алло, да.
Ты придурок ебаный.
Ни хрена себе.
Там же стрелковых боев нету, в основном дроны сейчас. Да? 200?
А 200-ми
Ну,
сколько?
5% от этой численности.
5%?
5% от той же численности.
Не, ну они, видишь, 1200 в день раненых, да, это у нас получается.
Это за счет того, что они дронами работают. В таком бою они не встречаются в основном.
Ukrainian soldiers in Russia's Kursk Oblast have lost some territory in recent days, but they are not surrounded by Russian troops, despite recent statements from US President Donald Trump and Russian leader Vladimir Putin. Reports Reuters, citing 3 US and European officials familiar with their country's intelligence assessments. US intelligence agencies, including the CIA, have shared this assessment with the White House over the past week, a US official and another person familiar with the matter said. However, Trump continues to claim that Ukrainian troops are surrounded in Kursk Oblast in Russia's west. US and European intelligence assessments show Ukrainian troops are facing intense pressure from Russian forces, but they are not completely surrounded, the official said. In a post on his social media account on 14 March, Trump said he had asked Putin to save the lives of thousands of Ukrainians, who he said were completely surrounded and vulnerable. The Kremlin leader replied that he would do so if they surrendered. Trump repeated the statement about the encirclement of Ukrainian forces during a speech at the Kennedy Center in Washington on Monday and in an interview with Fox News on Tuesday. The Institute for the Study of War, a US-based conflict monitor, said on 14 March that it had found no geolocation evidence that Russian forces have surrounded significant numbers of Ukrainian troops in Kursk Oblast or elsewhere along the front line in Ukraine. Russia likely suffered about 900,000 military casualties, killed and wounded, since its full-scale invasion of Ukraine began in 2022, the UK Ministry of Defense reported on X. British military officials estimate that between 200,000 and 250,000 Russian soldiers have died, marking what they call Russia's largest losses since World War II. British intelligence suggests that Russian dictator Vladimir Putin and the country's military leadership prioritize war goals over the lives of Russian soldiers. The report also notes that Russia places less value on the lives of citizens from ethnic minorities and poorer regions, where recruitment efforts are disproportionately focused. According to Ukraine's general staff, Russia lost about 1,400 soldiers in the past day alone. Since the invasion started, total Russian military losses are reported at 899,470 killed and wounded. Ukraine's new Long Neptune cruise missile and European cooperation could weaken Vladimir Putin's position, former Air Force officer Anatoly Krapchinsky told Radio NV. Since last evening, nothing has happened in Ryazan Oblast, yet the entire Diaghilevo air base was evacuated. The Russians moved their aircraft out of range, evacuating up to 15 planes. At the Savasleika air base, the cover plan was activated. Deep in Astrakhan Oblast, Ukrainian drones struck a fuel and energy complex. According to the local governor, the situation is under control, but he curiously emphasized that electronic warfare systems and air defense operated normally. Nevertheless, there was a fire. What do you make of these reports? When we talk about our capabilities, we refer to the drones used for strikes inside Russia, which carry a significantly reduced payload. Now we are discussing the ability to deploy Neptune missiles, which have an increased payload and can inflict substantial damage on Russian airfields within a 1,000-kilometer radius. Let's clarify that the missile is not launched directly from Ukraine's borders. However, we can confidently say that Neptune can reach targets within a 600 to 700-kilometer range. I believe Russia understands this and is beginning to reposition its aviation and other critical assets accordingly. Additionally, considering current developments, the United States is actively advocating for reconciliation and has essentially stated, "Everyone for themselves," without providing any guarantees. Meanwhile, Europe is intensifying efforts to establish additional air defense capabilities and even exploring the possibility of deploying military contingents to Ukraine. This signals that Russia is preparing for potential Ukrainian strikes, and I see this as an attempt to preempt such attacks, he said. U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright said the United States could step in to run Ukrainian power plants if that was helpful to ensure a ceasefire and bring peace.
Nuclear power plants in Ukraine, how would that work? And would that require U.S. boots on the ground, or how would that work?
Oh, certainly we have immense technical expertise in the United States to run those plants. I don't think that requires boots on the ground. But I'll leave the foreign policy to President Trump and Secretary Rubio. I know they are working tirelessly. How do we bring peace to Ukraine? How do we get this fighting to stop, which takes both sides to lay down their arms? But if it was helpful to achieve that end, have the U.S. run nuclear power plants in Ukraine, no problem. We can do that.
President Zelensky, we have definitely not discussed the ownership issue of the Zaporozhye nuclear plant with President Trump.
President Trump asked me, "What do you think about this station?" I told him that it works. If it is not Ukrainian, it will not work. It will not be for anyone. It is illegal. It won't be able to. If Americans think about it, like Volodymyr Zelensky, find a way out of this situation. They want to take it from the Russians and want to invest, modernize. That is another matter. We can talk about it, but we definitely did not discuss the issue of ownership with President Trump. Moreover, we did not discuss those messages you are talking about now. I have already seen such messages in the press. So regarding overall generation in Ukraine, we will not discuss it. We have nuclear power plants currently operating 15 units, all of which belong to our state. We are connected to the European grid. For us, this is a serious guarantee of energy security.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.